know, but this is
learned
as a
how to
parent.
be black in America.
But as a parent, as much as Buzzy spoke to me about race, I spoke to my children about
Right, but
race.
let me you
And so
use
therefore,
your
okay,
situation is unique.
and I don't know if it's
Everybody
unique or
doesn't have
not.
a bus.
And
And I'm telling you, as I sit in the room, you remember, you know what I do for a living. I sit in the
yeah, I
room,
know.
they come in and are blown away when
And
they
I
discover
but
that
that's
they're utopia.
and I find that
Even and I
but
would say more so than anything,
I
you
would
know who I
say
get
that
more than anything? I
but I
get
would say
guys, ministers who have been in churches
mhm.
where they thought they were equal.
And I would say this, but that I think that is segregation, desegregation had nothing to do with that. That has to do with who they were educated by, how they
No,
were
no, no,
educated,
bro.
who spoke to them, what values do they have? And
They were in places where they thought, as a consumer, they have more, and they have more because systemically that was afforded to them. And so therefore, when they go in those environments and um, they live in that environment, and I'm thinking church, for example,
mhm,
then what is so normalized is this two-tier value of humanity in our country.
mhm.
And it is very, very normalized in the church. And it's the inherent racism that people don't claim that usually puts people in a position where they're doing things. So this guy's wondering why you are not the one assigned to this responsibility when you know you're more qualified. You're wondering why you are limited to go down to the poorest people to minister when everybody else gets to lead a group. You're wondering why all those different things. And then when something happens where you are supposed to be treated biblically, then you get hit with this
Oh,
reality.
you're speaking to the choir, but I never was under the illusion. I would say that I would say that
You knew
and
you
I
were looked at as less than, and you
well
stayed there.
I knew this. This is what I knew. I've always known this that I am no matter where I go, I am going to have to overcome something. Um, but I value who I am to the point to where I know who I am, regardless of what anyone else thinks or says about me.
Right, but what would you just because you know how to swim, would you jump in toxic water? No, I'm not going to go into a place that
No,
is already
but
naturally harmful
no
to me.
no one will. And so,
People
but
will.
just because I would say, okay, if that's the case, then I could flip that on you and say, why would I move into a neighborhood where I know that I'm more likely to be a victim of a violent crime than why would I jump into that toxic water? I'm more likely, okay,
Because
I'm more likely to be a victim of a violent crime in certain neighborhoods versus other neighborhoods. Why would I jump
and,
in that toxic crime?
I
Right?
would say that, and here's the way I would answer, because when I recognize that this is the water, because both waters are toxic, right? So this one is the one risk versus the other. So I would go in here and I would say, because this water is the water that I have full access to, I'm gonna clean this bad boy up. I'm gonna
Well,
clean this water up and I'll make it better.
who says
When we did not have the options, we fixed what we had because it was what we had.
but did we?
Now that we have the options, then we abandon what's ours to share with what's theirs.